Most people do not want to imagine toilet water becoming drinking water. That reaction is normal. A toilet is where water leaves the clean world of the home. Once it is flushed away, most of us prefer the story to end there. But in some places, the question does not end with where the water goes. The question becomes this: can water that once passed through homes, buildings, and toilets ever become safe enough to drink again? The careful answer is, sometimes, yes. But not in the simple way people often imagine. It is not a direct pipe from toilet to cup. It is not true that all tap water comes from toilet wastewater. And it is not true that wastewater automatically becomes drinking water just because it has been treated. The better question is, what has to happen before wastewater can safely become part of a drinking water system? The first distinction is between wastewater treatment and drinking water treatment. Wastewater treatment is usually about taking used water and treating it so it can be released, reused, or managed with less harm. That is already an important public health job, but it does not automatically make the water ready to drink. A wastewater treatment plant may treat water enough for discharge into the environment. In some places, treated water may also be reused for certain non-drinking purposes. But drinking water is a different standard. When water is meant for people to drink, the requirements become stricter. The water has to meet drinking water rules. It has to be monitored. It has to be managed as part of a safety system. So the word treated is not enough by itself. The purpose of the treatment matters. Water treated for one use is not automatically suitable for every other use. This is also why the phrase recycled water can be confusing. Reused water does not always mean drinking water. In many places, reclaimed or recycled water may be used for irrigation, landscaping, industrial processes, cooling systems, or other non-drinking uses. That kind of reuse can still be valuable. It can reduce pressure on freshwater supplies and help reserve higher quality sources for uses that need them most. But that is not the same as potable reuse. Potable reuse is the narrower category. It means treated wastewater becomes part of a drinking water supply. And this is where the scary mental image needs to change. Potable reuse is not simply taking water from a sewer and sending it straight to a tap. It depends on a controlled pathway. That pathway may include advanced treatment, purification, disinfection, testing, monitoring, and regulation. The exact method can vary by country, city, and water authority. Some systems use advanced treatment steps before the water enters a reservoir, groundwater basin, or drinking water system. Other systems may use different designs, depending on local rules and infrastructure. But the core idea is the same. The water is not accepted because someone ignores where it came from. It is accepted only if the treatment pathway brings it to the required standard for its intended use. That is why a better mental model is not toilet to tap. It is treatment to standard. A useful example is Singapore's water. Singapore treats used water and then purifies it further to create high-grade reclaimed water. Much of it is used for industry and cooling, and some of it is added to reservoirs before going through drinking water treatment again. The point is not that every city follows Singapore's model. The point is that serious water reuse is controlled. It is designed. It is monitored. It is not a casual shortcut. There are also different potable reuse pathways. In indirect potable reuse, highly treated water may first go into an environmental buffer, such as groundwater or a reservoir, before later being treated again for drinking water. In direct potable reuse, the pathway may be shorter. But direct does not mean untreated. It still depends on treatment, monitoring, standards, and regulation. This is the part that the phrase toilet to tap hides. It skips over the treatment barriers. It skips over the testing. It skips over the drinking water standards. And it skips over the people and institutions responsible for keeping the system safe. That is why some places consider potable reuse in the first place. Where water supply is limited, drought is a concern, or demand keeps growing, used water can become more than waste. It can become part of a water strategy. But that does not mean every place needs potable reuse. It does not mean every city uses it. And it does not mean public concern should be dismissed. Drinking water depends on trust. People need to know that the process is not only technically possible, but also regulated, monitored, maintained, and clearly explained. So the answer to the title is not a simple yes or no. Does toilet water become drinking water again? Sometimes, in some places, wastewater can become part of a drinking water supply, but only through controlled treatment pathways, only with the right safeguards, only when the water meets the standard for the use it is meant to serve. So the better question is not only where the water came from. The better question is what happened to it before it returned. A flush may feel like the end of water's story inside the home. But in a managed water system, water can move through treatment, reuse, monitoring, and regulation. In some places, it can even return as part of a drinking water supply. Not because it went directly from toilet to tap, but because it passed through a pathway designed to make the water suitable again. That is the clearer model. Not toilet to tap, but treatment to standard.